the Rikishi Fatu Off the Top podcast. Let's go. Rikishi Fatu, all y'all ready? We the ones. Keep it locked on the Rikishi Fatu podcast. Off the Top. We gon' talk about everything wrestling, everything hip hop. Keep it locked. It's time to smarten up. Let's do this. We are on and ready. And popping, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Let's do this, Brutus.
Yes, sir.
Manuel.
Manuel, salute.
Salute.
You know?
It's good to see you.
Thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all having Dos Equis in the house for me. Big shout out to Dos Equis. It's one of my favorite beers besides coming from Corona. You know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Of course, a shot of Jameson.
Oh, of course, and old fashioned.
And old fashioned, of course.
Which, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you could hear some of these behind the scenes
Here we go.
Tracks.
There we go.
That I get to hear. But Keisha's got some things in the oven cooking, if you will, and he drops the old fashioned reference in there, which I thought was really cool. But Manuel, good to see you, Sir Tribal Cheeks.
Good. Thank you for coming back home. Welcome home.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
home.
It feels good to be back home.
How was the weather up there in NorCal?
Good. Oh man, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful sunshine. Got to see Journey and Big Toco, Oasis Pro. They did an outside show, so it was really, really nice to be out and be a part of some wrestling.
All right. Make sure, fans, that you guys are up in NorCal area. Make sure to stop by. See my nephews that are up there and the whole Oasis crew, man.
And I love because it's like Knox Pro is the brother, Oasis is the sister. So being there is like just being with family. So
right on.
It's always a good time being with.
Good. How's the family? How's Pops and everybody up there?
Doing good. Thank you, Big Kish. Yeah, everyone's doing good, man.
Yeah, it was weird not having you here last show.
Yes, sir. That was my fault. It was my scheduling. It was a scheduling conflict. But yeah, it did feel weird. But
so I wanted to tell you the story how we was able to get DJ Dirty.
DJ Dirty? Okay, go for it.
Yeah, from last week. So he was sitting up, and DJ Dirty is part of our crew up here with the production office. And of course, it wasn't your mess up; it was mine mess up too because, I didn't put it down on the scheduling and you told me that you were not going to be here, and I must have got it, all confused. So anyhow. Long story short, DJ's over here on his phone like everybody else while we're doing the show. and so he's here, and then I find out I'm reading your text. I was like, oh, shit, Joey's not going to be here today. So everybody, we looked at each other. Of course, we just adapt, right?
Yes, sir. I was just
I said, I'll just shoot it myself. But then I looked over. There's DJ Dirty. And I realized I've never met this kid, and he's been here for however many months, but he just never up here when we're shooting in the studio. And since we brought him up, and I was like, you know what? In my mind, I'm always like thinking quick, man. So in my mind, I said, what better than, introduce each other and get to know each other? Because I really want to see what this kid does in there. I don't know. He's probably a paparazzi or for all I know, right?
And the pressure he had to feel because it's not easy. Because that's how it happened to me a year ago, episode 3, ladies and gentlemen. I came just to drop something off, and then you mentioned, hey, why don't you sit down and we'll do a show together? And we did it, and after then we've been doing it ever since. But it's not easy.
But I know our chemistry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, you, the late Chavo Guerrero Sr., back in the old domain in Sun Valley. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
We had that little
Knox Pro radio show. Yeah,
that little whatever that was. That small little little show that we had. Man.
I remember.
And I don't know what happened, but I couldn't take the call or something. Like I was busy for something, and I wish I would have now. Because that was probably the last time that we talked to, heard his voice. But of course, I threw you in there.
Yep.
And once I heard you, I said, man. Joey's pretty, I feel like we can work pretty good together. And so that's kind of like what happened with this kid here. I kind of just threw him in. But I thought he did great.
And you know what's awesome is you come to Knox Pro, you don't ever know what's going to happen, you don't know what you're going to get.
Well, we never do anything under easy, right?
Right.
It has to be under pressure.
Right. So imagine imagine you're like 1 year deep at your wrestling school and you barely know how to cut a promo.
Right.
Yeah, let's hop onto a podcast with Rikishi Fatu off the top.
I told you should have seen him. So he gets on and sits in your seat, right? At first, he was saying, wow, this seat's pretty high. I was like, okay, here we go, damn it, here we go. But he's looking. I kind of know he was nervous because he's sitting across from me. And so all of a sudden here comes.
Is that why he wore sunglasses?
The black shades came on. You know, I wear glasses because I'm partially blind, so I have an excuse to wear while I'm wearing glasses. But him, he just kind of hid behind the black shades. And then here we go, man. So I thought the interview was great.
Yeah.
As always, like the teacher, each one teach one. But I was like, he was like on the job training while I was trying to find him. He had good timing. He had good answers, good questions he was trying to ask. And in the meantime, I was just trying to see if he was still a wrestling fan or did he learn something since he's been here at Knox Pro? And I kind of just, made an introduction. Well, it's nice to meet you. Because every time I come downstairs, I see you, but we're just passing each other.
Right.
You're doing stuff for Reno or you're doing whatever, and I'm just out the door. But, what a way to meet each other online.
That's what I told her.
Oh, Lord.
And that's my wife.
Oh, yeah. Good answer. All right.
Oh, man, Big
But
Kish.
anyhow, so big shout out to Dirty.
DJ Dirty D?
DJ Dirty.
No, just
E,
Dirty.
right? It's D, right?
Dirty D.
No, Dirty E.
Wait a minute. Does he hang out with the demon semen?
No, he doesn't. Thank God he doesn't hang the demon semen.
Or what? The digital demon?
Digital demon. That's his name, Digital Demon, not Digital Semen.
Sorry.
So you just named DJ Dirty E. You just called him DJ Dirty what, D? What, Dirty Is that what you got? So you got Digital Semen, now you got DJ Dirty. Oh, that's
one hell of a crew right there.
That's horrible. Well, welcome back.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Have another shot.
I will. You know what? Something I've been wanting to ask.
I'll take a shot.
Something I've been wanting to ask Big Kish because a lot of history with this guy, Jeff Cobb. So Jeff Cobb has made a huge impact coming into the WWE.
Shout out to Bay Area.
That's what
Bay
I'm saying.
Kid.
So me personally, I've come up. We've shared the same locker room, same promotions. I've got to know this guy one-on-one. Great guy. So happy for him.
Hey, can I ask you something about Jeff Cobb?
Yes, sir.
Is it me? Oh, he's just stocky like Taz back in the day.
He's built like a brick house. He is.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got such big shoulders, man. It just look like he don't got a neck. You know what I mean? It looked like he just got a thick body and somebody just put a neck on top. I mean, put a head on top of no neck.
Yes, sir.
And I was sitting there, I was watching, and I was like, wait, what's wrong? Something's missing here. Something's missing. I was happy for him to see him finally, one of the OGs that's been on the indie circuit for a minute. But I can tell, man, that, he was, there was something missing. What was that? I figured out.
His neck.
He had no neck. All right? So, but no. I'm not nothing else, Big Goose.
Yeah, don't suplex me, Jeff.
Don't
suplex me, bro.
I'm retired, Jeff, okay? I'm retired. And you mess with me, I'll have solo fire here. Anyhow, so yeah, but because he was, from the Bay, I was so happy to see him.
Thank you, Drink Master.
And, oh my goodness, here we are. We're going to talk more about people now drinking this. Well, this is why we just unfiltered.
Yes, sir.
Manuel, welcome back.
So,
okay, Jeff Cobb.
But what I think is awesome is if you're a fan of pro wrestling like myself.
Joey, did I tell you I miss you?
I miss you too, Big Kish.
I just miss you because you just come up with all kind of just different unfiltered stories. Like you're a real fan of Jeff Cobb, aren't you?
Well, actually,
it's okay.
I know
because I see the shiny look on your face when we're talking about.
Well, here's what I'm getting
JC.
to. Mateo, they changed it, so I'm going to get to that too. But this is why I'm stoked because as a wrestling fan, and if you know wrestling, the psychology, you know why Jeff Cobb is in the picture, and that's what I wanted to get to as well. So he has now made a huge impact in the WWE. His name was Jeff Cobb, but they switched it to JC Mateo.
Okay.
Which, now that's cool, but let me ask you this, Big Kish. Once you appear and you're branded Jeff Cobb and then you show up the next SmackDown, you're JC Mateo, is that, do you think that's a big deal? Do you think it's something the fans could just sweep under the rug and remember one week, forget the next? What's
I think it's a big deal for Jeff personally. I mean, to be able to come from independent and then come right there to the top with the crew, be a part of a storyline. I mean, the way they brought him in, man, I was surprised. I was happy for him.
Yes.
To see him. Now, the thing is, like, number one, the good part, and I'm sure I can, say this for the boys, right? Anybody that gets a contract from WWE, when you've been grinding for years and showcasing, to me, Jeff Cobb has been ready a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And good for him, because what he has learned and went through with independent circuit, dealing with a lot of promoters, dealing with his own business as far as, how to negotiate deals, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure he was ready by the time he came to WWE. And to be able to have that financial security now,
Yeah.
whether he works in a week or doesn't in a month, he still gets a weekly paycheck. So that, to me, is the number one winner for me, for all those that gets an opportunity to be able to wrestle in WWE or any big company that pays hard-earned money. And it couldn't happen to a better guy. And I want it to happen to those that really have passion for this business. And we know Jeff Cobb does. And here he is. Now it's time for him he's going to find out exactly how the WWE works. Because we up there, and I say we, I'm not there, but to me, that's our home. That's the dynasty's home. And once you come from the independent circuit and now you're up there, a lot of things are going to have to change for Jeff. And he's going to have to find it. He's going to have to, what we say, adapt.
Yes, sir.
Right? Working with different people. Like there might be some people that don't like to be suplexed. There might be some people that don't know how to work Jeff style or don't want to work Jeff style. In the meantime, you, as Jeff Cobb, as his brand now, he's already noticed. He's known outside the independent circuit, but now he's got to build that brand, JC Mateo,
Mm-hmm.
in the WWE universe, in the WWE locker room. So, he's under good hands with the boys. Jeff is a likable person. I mean, when I crossed paths with him,
Mm-hmm.
I felt he was very respectful, and he was a good dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was I was very happy to see him aboard WWE.
Do you think Jason Mateo is going to be the number one threat to Jacob Fatu somewhere down the line?
Well, I mean, let's say this: threat, no. Good match, yes. Will he be the guy for Jacob? As of now, because we haven't seen what JC Mateo can do. We got to see. He's got to go up that ladder. You know what I mean? They're just bringing him right there into the storyline. So now he's got to kind of, showcase the same thing what I've always said about Jacob. Put Jacob with the right people, you're going to get the best talent out this kid. Same thing with JC Mateo, right? He needs one of those TV matches to get him going. Now, he doesn't have to be a superstar. Just let Jeff Cobb be Jeff Cobb. I think it's very difficult when you bring somebody up there that's already established and knows who he is on the independent circuit. Then when you come, you try to change a guy into, a Big Bird.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
when
sir.
that's not him.
Right.
Right? If you let the talent, be who he is, who he's comfortable, I think he can be possibly, a good help, a good draw to the company. And no doubt when he does cross paths, that's the way it looks like he's going to cross paths with Samoan Werewolf, Jacob soon. And I guarantee you they're going to have a great match, because how many times have they worked together on the independent circuit?
Yeah.
They know each other. They're the Bay Area boys.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're either at Oasis or down the street to Frank White School, and
Yep.
you guys, they've worked many a times together. So let's see what WWE opportunity gives to JC Mateo, and let's see what Jeff Cobb. I like to call him Jeff Cobb.
Yes, sir.
What Jeff brings to the table. So good luck to you, Jeff.
Yep.
Good luck to you.
Absolutely. So Stevie Wonder could see this, Big Kish.
Really?
The pro wrestling world has come behind Jacob Fatu.
Uh-huh.
They are supporting Jacob Fatu. He's cutting promos now, and he's got the crowd behind him.
Well, last I knew, Stevie Wonder's ears still work. So
Yeah.
if he can't see it, which obviously he can. By the way, that was
a great. That was
no, that was horrible.
No,
Joey.
no, but
Like, Stevie Wonder can see that.
yes.
What the
What
hell?
I'm saying is,
like,
this, no.
My goodness.
Let me
That
expand
is
on that. Let me expand on that a little
What
bit.
happened to your skills, man? my goodness.
Have you not seen the Money in the Bank poster? Like that is fire with Jacob Fatu with the briefcase and the money.
Everything is fire when you see something about Jacob out there.
Well,
that's because your relationship.
Proud.
This was a guy that used to sleep on your couch and probably borrow a couple. You don't smoke, but probably borrowed a couple.
Yes, sir.
Cigarettes and Newports and stuff.
A second-licky.
Yes, you got second-licky. Joey, what we gonna eat? You know what I mean?
So what I wanted to know, Big Kish, when I was thinking about that, I'm seeing all this fanfare he's getting because the crowd is behind him. They're finishing his sentences. His promo's over. Do you prefer a Jacob heel run, or do you want to see him go full babyface and get the treatment? And just...
Well, I mean, this is like anything. It's like WWE Universe. Their voices are loud. Mm. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if they're already gravitating to Jacob as a babyface, and Jacob didn't ask to be a babyface. Jacob went out, tried to do heel things, and there was nothing babyface about Jacob that was out there. But, fans, they follow people's careers when you're out there. They already have an attachment to Jacob as like, how proud they are of this kid. And then you hear his stories so you can gravitate to somebody when you're telling the story. I mean, listen, had a bad hand dealt to him, did some time, came back out, boom, jumped into wrestling, had a family, you know what I mean? And then, kept grinding. And here it was only, in due time. And so the story alone, I feel, a lot of people can relate to that. You know what I mean? Now, we all like a positive story. Mm. Like, damn, that kid, he did great for her, or she did great for herself. Now, as all of us, we all have to hope and pray that Jacob stays that course.
Yes.
Because now it's so easy now. And, he's trained, like all of you guys, just, not to be big-headed, to stay humble and, things change. Now you got a little bit of Benjamins in your pocket, a lot more than what you used to. You know what I mean?
Coupe.
Yeah, you can afford your own cigs. You can afford your own gas. You know what I mean? You ain't sleeping on the couch no more. So, and at the same time, you want to stay level-headed that way. At least that's what we all can hope for Jacob. And the fans, they just sees this. They feel like they're on a ride with the icon to be made.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes,
because they all see him come in for the first time.
Seeing it in the making.
Right? Mm-hmm. So as Jacob is growing, Jacob's been there?
A year.
A year
right.
now.
Yes, it'll be a year June. June 6th to be exact.
1 year. Right? You guys should have seen Joey's face on June 6th to be exact. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Jacob, Joey's your number one fan. You better damn call Joey. You better call. I think you're just so proud of Jacob. That's what it is.
I'm very proud because I've seen it. I've seen it.
And so
I saw what he overcame.
The fans seen it a whole year. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know, man. He's the heel and he's got merchandise.
Mm. Yeah, right.
One of the hottest selling merchandise.
Yes, sir.
Right? Mm-hmm. So you see him. I think he's on his 3rd T-shirt or something that's out there. So the WWE would not make your merchandise if they don't feel that you're generating revenue and you're becoming a fan favorite, right? Yes, and so can you imagine when they start to really light Jacob up?
That's what
and start to feed him good matches, good name matches, not just anybody he can have a good match. I mean, he can have a good match with Ricochet, which he's not there no more, but, I'm a fan of Ricochet.
Yeah.
Right? He can have a good match with Penta. He can have a good match with Ray. I think that can be a good high-flying psychology match. You got the Beast versus the high flyer, but the Beast is a good high flyer too. He can do it all, right? So you stick Jacob, my point is you stick Jacob with the right guys, the right names, and the right angle. Yeah, you're looking at a future Hall of Famer.
Yes, sir. On a side note, Solo Sikoa's work lately, his character work has just been off the charts, hilarious.
Yeah.
So we're getting to see another side of him, and to be honest, they always say funny's money. He's really standing out to me. Just as a fan, he's entertaining to watch right now. I think he's putting out some really good stuff.
I like those promo skills, don't you?
Yes, sir.
You can see the different rather than just.
Well, the funny thing is, he reminds me of you a lot. Like his mannerisms, like when he's in the ring, he's like, "Yeah, I mean," like he's like everybody knows.
Well,
like,
you guys come from this academy. You know when to turn it on. You know when to turn it off,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
If I'm not feeling well, or I just don't feel like hearing the bullshit. You better turn it off.
Yes, sir.
Right. But if it's time for showtime, you see the cameras. What? Where's your money, Joey?
Your face.
There it is. You already know.
So, what do you see happening? Because right now, we all know what's
I
headed.
don't know. Ask Stevie Wonder.
Oh yeah. Well, he's
one for me.
He's hanging out with Dionne Warwick. So we're gonna tell you the future right now.
Oh my goodness, Dionne.
Do you think? Well, actually, no. Not what do you think? What do you think about his position right now and where he's at and what he's got going on and what do you see next?
Who are we talking about?
Your son, Solo.
Well, I mean, what do I see next?
Yes, sir.
I see growth of his finding his promo. Like I hit him up the other day. I just told him, "Hey man, it's good to see you unwind."
Yes, sir.
I think that's what I said.
Yep.
Unwind, like you know what I mean, to show his because he's really a funny dude. You can see your personality in there, like him and Jacob. And then here's where you see when you're being trained by the same people. Jacob cuts the promo. Solo knows when to come in and interrupt. And I mean, just the chemistry was just on point. And I caught that, and that's when I hit him up and I just, hey man, it's good to see that you're finding yourself in your promo. You're out there. He said, I'm out there doing it, having fun, Dad. And that's what it's all about,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Because
Absolutely.
at this point, he's made a name for himself. So it's not, probably the only pressure he has is a pressure on himself. To continue to, kind of navigate his brand. Okay, what's next for Solo now? We kind of see Roman kind of looks like he's starting to get out the picture, and now the kind of, the ball's kind of going this way. So it gives kind of Solo his own identity to kind of form, like, glad he's talking a lot, doing promos a lot, and just having fun. Yes, where you're not too serious, like the face, like, I'm gonna kill you type, like Suge Knight face. Right. So, but it's good. It's called sports entertainment.
Yes.
And to be able to get out there, man, I think him and Jacob can have a good back and forth promo, and you can see it.
Yeah.
They're both feeding off of each other in those, backroom segments.
And plus, all throughout 2024, there was a lot of fan footage of Solo just interacting with the crowd. And he's been on a roll. And I'm very excited to see where he's going to go character-wise and what's next for Solo.
You know what made me happy? Like, this is outside of wrestling because we know these boys. Mm-hmm. And I speak, for Jacob and Solo. And it's the fans that put this video out there. So there was this one video. Who knew that Lex Luger was going to be inducted 2025 into the Hall of Fame. And here's Jacob, before he got into the WWE, out on it must have been a signing or something, WrestleCon, whatever it was. And you see, we all knew Luger's in the wheelchair, but you see Jacob, it was an SUV, Jacob grabs the wheelchair, pops the back open, and Jacob puts this wheelchair in there. And then, of course, Jacob looks at Luger's already sitting in the passenger seat. And Jacob says to Luger, okay, Mr. Luger, here you go. Oh, by the way, I'm Tonga Kid's son, Sam Fatu. And that was it. Mm-hmm. Closed the door and boom. Mm-hmm. Made me happy to see.
Yeah.
Like, the sign of respect that these kids continue to have for a lot of those that help pave the way. Here's another thing. I didn't put it up. I seen it on social media. Somebody tagged me. Solo was on the plane. Now Solo was on the plane sitting in his seat already.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
That was the lady that come through. I guess, the old lady, of course, they're trying to grab her bag, and he gets up. He grabs the bag. He puts it up, let the lady sit down, and then he sits down. Those things to me is so important that I wish that a lot of fans would post up of their favorite wrestlers, be it a diva, whoever, even anybody because we get a lot of bad slack a lot of times. And, you know, a lot of times people just post up stuff about wrestling. But when you post up things like that, it reconfirms, number one, like who these wrestlers, who they really are. Like, yo, we're people, man. You know what I mean? We're normal, we're human beings like you guys that are. The only thing's different is our jobs, is employment, what we do. We just so happen to be in front of the, you know, the spotlight, the camera. So what I'm saying to a lot of people, this it's nice to see things of that nature that you guys post up about wrestlers, you know, doing things like that. And it's not an act. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not, I can speak on behalf of these boys because I know how they are, you know? And so to be able to see footage like that, it's a nice feeling. And I bring this up because there was this one footage that I seen JBL answer to a fan out there. Mm-hmm. A fan posted up. It was just a recent WrestleCon. We were in Las Vegas, and it showed. I think it was Marty Janelli. Marty's got bad hips. Marty's got bad knees. He's got bad feet. Mm-hmm. And you know, you see how far that WrestleCon to walk from the front door to your table. It just takes a lot of guys some time. So he was limping. Then there was another wrestler that was in a wheelchair. They were pulling him to his gate. Then they show people, the Mountie, who's from Canada, came all the way from Canada to Las Vegas, to the WrestleCon to do signings for him. And this guy post up. It's sad to see OG legends like this. Man, I was so pissed off. I was so pissed off because, like, what gives you the right to post stuff like that and say things like that to... Here's people that put their body on the line 200 days out the year, nonstop, working with, for all I know, Marty Janelli was probably working with a bad ankle, but still, did he complain? He went. Our purpose was different. Number one, for the fans. Number two, we got to make that money. Then you have different guys flying all the way from Canada to come to WrestleMania, to come meet and greet the fans, whether he had a long line or not. But still, the effort that this guy who's in pain fly all the way from Canada to the WrestleCon to meet fans, and this is what they put out. So my saying is, when you guys post stuff like that, the fans out there, when you guys post stuff like that, just understand it hurts our feelings. It does. Because here we are, we come to you, we give you everything, we don't complain to you, my back, my vertebrae's hurting, my ankle's broken from last night. We don't tell nobody. There's that piece that the show must go on, right? And so at the end of the day, it's like, you know, so big shout out to JBL. He went and he posted up on, you know, and I know John don't never write a long post on Twitter, but actually, you know, when I seen that long post, it actually, I can tell, you know, it hurt him, like it hurt a lot of the OGs just, but, you know, I wouldn't have never gave that guy that clout.
Right.
You know what I mean? For his 500 followers now, you know, JBL kind of, you know, for me, I probably would have did it on a direct message or something. You know, but still, nowadays, they, you know what I mean? Screenshot it, they post it up. Because that's all they're doing. They're all, you know, they'll put out stuff like that to be able to get, you know, likes, get followers. But is it worth it for you to, you know, to talk like that about a lot of the OGs that helped pave the way for this business that you're still watching as a fan of today, right? You might not have watched a lot of the OGs, and maybe you should go back and watch a lot of their matches so you can understand why those guys are walking and moving the way they are and still making the booking for your ass to come over there to meet and greet one of your favorites. So if you're going to say something, say it right in front of their face. Have the respect and decency to do that.
Shout out to Jim Ross, too, who just got diagnosed with colon cancer. He was at WrestleCon, sitting there, shaking hands and taking pictures, too, man. Yeah.
Man.
You're
They get well.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, you know, Jim Ross.
Yeah, he showed up, and I just knew visually you could see that he was unwell, but he still showed up. Did like you said,
we
man.
all know.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
He made the announcement himself.
Yeah.
And so all on the low, you know what I mean? Just because you don't post up on his feed doesn't mean you don't send him well wishes.
Right.
There could be, you know what I mean? There could be direct texts or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's just, I go back to these fans here. I mean, this is the best, probably the best commentator that will ever live in this wrestling sports entertainment. Jim Ross done called one of the best iconic matches in this wrestling business for well over 40 years.
Yeah.
And so what? You see a guy like Jim, you know, he's taking his time to take the walk to where he's got to get to his table, and all of a sudden, boom, you label him. He's blah, blah, blah. Sad to see. What? How do you know? I guess if you didn't read that he's got cancer, well, shame on you for opening your fucking mouth to all of a sudden just, you know, call it like that. You assume, speculate that we all, you know, broken down. You're damn right. I'll be the first to admit.
Right.
I'm broken down.
Yep.
I'm broken down, but we still get to
there.
A to B where we need to be.
Yes, sir.
You dig? So
Yes, sir.
that guy out there, see your way out, because you ain't in this conversation.
I don't even know who that guy is, and he's stressing me the out. I need to take a shot.
Well, there you go.
Big Kish. Last SmackDown main event was interrupted by the Wyatt Six group.
Oh,
It was actually Bray Wyatt's birthday. They returned on his birthday to make a statement of sorts. But we haven't seen the Wyatt Six group as consistent as maybe a lot of other people would wish. First of all, I want to get your thoughts on the Wyatt Six group. Of course, Bo Dallas taking on the helms of Uncle Howdy, paying the tribute to Bray Wyatt, and you know, I think Eric Rowan is still in there. They got Sister Abigail. What are your thoughts on that group as a whole? Does WWE need to switch directions with them, do something with them? What's going on with that group?
I know, Joey. I mean, you know, it was good to see them back a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Especially when, you know, the brother who just lost a brother, Ray.
Right.
So you had the people with you when they seen that. At least they all kind of called it was the brother. Because if it wasn't the brother, then it wasn't right to do with the right person.
Yeah.
But I think the momentum from that, you know, kind of lost its track. You know what I mean? I don't, you know, I don't know, was it right to bring him back on his birthday? Was it right to take time off for a bit? Especially when you had that big, you know, ovation the first time when they first came through. We were all happy. You know, it was like, damn, but we knew. We knew, like, if it ain't the brother, then it's not going to work. But since it's the brother, now we're emotionally attached.
Yeah.
Like, damn, it couldn't happen to... Thank you, WWE,
Yeah.
for giving it to his brother, right? And so you can imagine the pressure on Bo, right?
Yeah.
You can imagine the pressure, but I'm sure he was happy to be in that position, to be in that opportunity, because it was personal. It was personal for him to carry on the legacy of his brother, the legacy of that character, the Bray Wyatt family. And for me, you know, I just feel like they kind of dropped the ball with that. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, you know, a lot of the promos, those are probably the best promos we've ever seen. Those segments that they do, you know what I mean? It just brought you that closer to Bray as if Bray was still there.
Right.
You know? And, I mean, I just feel like that, you know, they could have, protected the crew a lot more better and just be more protecting where they're going to put them that doesn't hurt them. You know, I mean, you know, they came out, okay, they did the deal, people were happy to see them, and that was it.
Yeah.
So where do we go from there now? You know what I mean? They were happy to see him, but it wasn't that strong input as if when a guy is gone and then makes that comeback, it wasn't that holy shit type of, applause like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so there could have just been a lot more. I don't know. I probably would have just, cut into a segment or something. Like, boom, the lights go on. Here comes, like, maybe show Bray Wyatt's promo or something. You know what I mean? And then, boom, here comes the show. I think the production should have built up a lot better. The lights go off. On the screen, there's Bray Wyatt. The lighters go off on all the arena. The whole arena, from one exit, you see the big man. The other exit, you see whoever. You know what I mean? I think the production, to give the fans the production, to me, that would probably got more over than what happened that day. Because now we're waiting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Those guys could have just ran or whatever. But just to give me that, that's like that Undertaker.
Yeah.
Whenever we hear dong, do we give a out the mat? Hell no. We just want to watch Taker with the fires. Who he gonna come out with?
Roll his eyes back in his
Right,
head.
roll his eyes back, get out there and put his hands up. The fire comes up, the lights come up. Everybody happy, they gone. Right? So that right there would have been the smart. That's just my opinion, right?
Okay.
I'm not saying those guys behind the scenes are this and that. I don't know, It just should have been, it should have been at that level. Because we're talking about Wyatt. We're talking about the legend, Bray Wyatt.
And he's always going to have that connection with that group. So them showing that image and them, that would be strong, for one.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
Yeah.
So WWE hire me for creative.
Great call, Big
Fire
Kish.
those other motherfuckers back in there. Y'all ain't doing y'all job out there. All
As
those,
per usual. You're only a Hall of Famer. What do you know?
I don't know a damn thing. I don't know shit,
So before we get into the my last few questions of the night, Big Kish, on a 1 to 10 basis, what would you grade the Wyatt 6 run so far?
I think a 6.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I think a 6.
Okay.
And I'm being generous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right off the back, maybe 4.
Okay.
Because they haven't really lit. We haven't really lit the fire up underneath these guys, and right a good angle from these guys. You know what I mean? And we need to build his brother, because he's playing that main spot, right?
Yeah,
So there needs to be good storylines with this guy here, because we got to build the leader. If we don't make the leader strong like his brother was, you just see another faction now. A bunch of everybody coming. Okay, a group beats up one guy, 3 guys. I mean, how many times we see that? But there ain't too many of those Wyatt families that are out there. In wrestling, when you have a gem like that, you want to take care of those people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're going to wrap up with Saturday night's main event, Big Kish. It's the return of Bronson Reed. The big man is back. But this time, it looks like he's playing for a different team. He's going to be on the side of Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. First of all, what are your thoughts?
Paul Heyman, that weasel.
Yeah,
Paul Heyman, I can't believe you turned your back on my family.
He acquired a
All
very
these
important
years,
talent.
Had I knew you were going to do that, man, I would have told Sammy just to run that little Yugo off the road in New Orleans. And I would have threw the bags with you. Really?
Yes.
Paul Heyman goes in.
Yeah.
Gets Bronson Reed.
Yeah. So,
So I'm assuming his ankle's better now.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hopefully he's not doing a splash again. He needs to practice that.
Yeah, absolutely. But who could teach him better than the Bloodline family? But he's not on the Bloodline team anymore. So
for sure now, I guess.
Let me ask you this, Big Kish. Was that a smart move? He returns, but playing for a different team now, so he's not associated with the Bloodline that we know of. What do you think about that? He's with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, Paul Heyman now.
Well, he's not as smart as I thought he was. How about that? You know what I mean? You know damn well. Don't think because Roman's out the picture. Ain't nobody said he was out the picture for long, right? And who knows what's happened? You got Solo out there, Solo plotting. You got the family all over. You got Jacob out there, he plotting. The Tongans out, the Tongan brothers out there. There's so many people come from the left to the right. You got the final boss that's still out there. Let's not, let's not count the final boss out. So at the end of the day, okay, all right, Bronson, you want to jump on, Chef Boyardee's team. Have a donut and a smile. Because we going to have the bag and the smile. Good luck to you, Don't do the splash off the top no more. Just, come to Knox Pro, I'll teach you how to splash. Damn. I know it, boy.
Did you happen to catch Jay's match? He defeated in his first title defense Logan Paul. Huge victory. There was a lot going on in that match.
Man, they beat Logan Paul already?
Yes, sir. Yes, Jay got his first.
Bullshit, man, they did.
Yes, sir. But it wasn't without happenings going on.
Travis Scott, don't tell me Travis Scott.
No, thank God Travis Scott didn't get involved and potato anybody.
You stay the hell out the match.
Yes, he didn't potato nobody. But
you stay out my boy's match.
We
Travis.
did see a John Cena get involved. John Cena, we saw him get involved. And then we also saw the return of the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, who has not been seen since WrestleMania 41. Is lost to John Cena. So it was a lot going on right there.
So Jay won.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yes, he did. And basically, so it looks like they're going to be tag teaming. It looks like it's going to be Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes against the team of John Cena.
But why? Why? I mean, Jay's he's a world heavyweight champion by himself.
Yeah, that's where it looks like it's headed.
Okay. Oh, they really need to fire creative service over there now. Just book me so I can book my son's matches out there, man.
There it is.
You know what I mean? Okay, you had me bought when they brought in, Paul. Right? I like I said on the past podcast.
Yes, we respect the pause, absolutely.
I mean, you know what I mean? I thought he's got skills.
Talented, yeah.
He's very entertaining. He knows how to get heat. But damn, I wouldn't have beat him the first time they locked up together. Could have just waited till a cage match or some type of gimmick match or something, because Paul had, he's got heat, right? He's got heat, and this will probably be his biggest spotlight in World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yep.
And, they're both young. Jay's young. Paul's young. Shit. Come on now. So now you beat Paul. Now where you go? Into a tag team bout?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
We still got Gunther in the wings. I think Gunther's going to get his rematch.
What is Hunker? We're just going to hunker Gunther out and just hang around, Gunther.
Yeah.
If I was Gunther, I was like, that. I want Jay right now, damn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me Jay right now. So it could have went either Jay and Logan, or, it has to be some type of gimmick match with him and Gunther. It's got to be one of those big double cages or something, or, by themselves, and just some make-believe gimmick type of matches to bring some type of excitement to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then two things can happen. Either, they give it to Jay again off of the gimmick match, which excels him to the next level. And it kind of just, bad for Gunther, because it kind of just, all right, where do you go from there? But, it took, Jay 3 times before he beat Gunther.
Yep.
So I think it's only fair to be able to give Gunther three chances, and maybe beat him 3 times or not. Depends. But still, man, it's goes back to, whoever's writing it. But what do I know? I'm only
just a WWE Hall of Famer. That's
WWE Hall of Famer in 2015. Just 35 years of no knowledge. What do I know, Joey? What do I know?
No, not much. Big Kish, last question of the night, Saturday night's main event. Jesse the Body Ventura. It is always good to see him and hear him involved on the broadcast. First of all, what
I think of Jesse?
Yeah. What?
When I think of Jesse, it reminds me of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Predator.
The Predator.
Yeah.
Right? He says like this. He's chewing his tobacco. And then he says, I ain't got time to bleed.
I fucking had that T-shirt and it got lost somewhere, but I wore that T-shirt in public.
I'm going to have to print some.
Yes. Are you kidding me? So
Jesse the Body.
do you have any? Did you ever come across him in your travels throughout the wrestling business?
He was back in the day in the Garden. Again, all that when it was territories, all up in Hampton, Connecticut, right down to Philly, Spectrum, to the Boston Gardens, back around to New York, to Albany, and I used to be with my uncles, Afonseca and Samu when they were like all three Samoans together. And of course, I was a younger cat, man, and I would come in the locker room. I'd see Jesse there. I was a big fan of Jesse. Like I was amazed of his number one, his physique, his working ability, but his showcase, his his mic skills.
Yes.
You can tell when you seen this guy, you know who he was. So Jesse the Body Ventura. And you had, superstar Billy Graham. Kind of similar, right? Mm-hmm. When you look at both of them. Yeah. But Jesse just had that. And, superstar never went on to get into Hollywood. But Jesse crossed over, right? And so I was a big fan. It's so nice to, to be able to see OGs like that, Jesse and, for WWE, to highlight and bring a lot of the OGs back, Just recently I seen Tatanka that was on there.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Him and his family.
Yeah.
Leilani Kai. She's one of the OGs, female wrestlers back in Madison Square Garden.
Wow.
She used to whoop Wendy Richter's ass when she used to come out with Cyndi Lauper back in the day. So they put Leilani Kai, she was like one of those good OG wrestlers. Like she was a good wrestler. She knew how to get over. She knew how to get the babyface over. She knew ring psychology, and she was loved by all the guys in the back because she was just one of the boys like that. And so it was good, to see a lot of those OG come back and get a spotlight. You know what I mean? Hopefully, I don't know if she's inducted into the Hall of Fame, but she's definitely one of those female OGs that helped pave the way for women's wrestling. It'd be good to kind of see her up in there.
Last question. What OG that's living from that era, 80s, 90s, can even go back to the 70s, that you wish you could see do commentary one time on Saturday Night's Main Event?
Wow. My goodness, a lot of my guys here, man. It was one of my favorites. It was Bobby Heenan. I would love to see Iron Sheik.
Yeah.
Fuji.
All the greats are gone, yeah.
Man. I'm trying to figure out who that's out there that I see a lot
from your era. From your era.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Man, I can't even call it right now, man. But hopefully, some OG.
Yeah.
That they give opportunity.
Actually, Godfather doing something like that.
For them get a. Man, he'd have that whole booth up in smoke. I don't think he'd last, man. I don't think Godfather. They would say, Charles. Well, it was nice knowing you for the first show, but we best endeavor to you. Yeah,
Okay.
Godfather would be having hoes out there sitting by the booth, doing lap dances for Michael Cole and shit. He'll be having McCaffrey out there just, throwing dollar bills and shit. He won't be. You know what? I'd probably like to have Jake the Snake.
Yes, sir.
I think Jake the Snake could be good.
Sean Mooney,
or Jim Duggan.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Or maybe we can have the Honky Tonk Man.
Oh, come on now, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time,
baby, the greatest of all time.
Shake, rattle, and roll, baby cakes.
Yeah, we seen them up there, man. So all those cats that were out there, be nice to kind of see them out there.
Right.
Just, get a little spotlight and show them some love. You know what I mean?
Because they all definitely helped pave the way of what we're watching now, no doubt about it.
Yeah, you think?
Yes, sir.
You think? Not these damn new creative control guys in there writing the storylines, man. Put these OGs on, man.
Yes, sir.
They ain't the only OGs that's out there, man. Put them on.
Yo, Big Kish,
show them some love.
Any final words?
Well, it's good to see J-Lo back in what is it, AMA Awards? Was that what it is? Did she host the whole thing? Did you miss it?
Yes, sir.
How did you miss J-Lo?
I've been on the road. I didn't know. What smart me up? What's going on?
Remember when she did those songs with
Waiting for Tonight?
Yeah, LL Cool J.
Oh,
remember that?
Yes.
She did them songs, LL Cool J.
Yes.
She with Ja Rule.
Yeah.
But she ain't even got that no more. Like the body was, I was like,
That's a travesty.
I mean, when they advertised J-Lo was on a host, I said, all right, great. Let's see. Always number one, you're gonna see if she still got it, right? And then when she came out, Lord, boy, if I could just reach out and touch her forehead, please go back to the dressing room. Just do your favor and go back. Do me a favor. Do everybody. Do yourself a favor. Go back to the dressing room, girl. I can shame on their crew for letting her go out there like that. But anyways, yeah. So to close up the show, I want y'all to be kind to one another and always remember, smarten up. And we out.